Guys, let me just start by saying, don't procrastinate. They say he played the fiddle as Rome burned. Yeah, right. First of all, fiddles were not invented until the 10th century. If anything, he would be playing the kithara. Second most, Nero was not even in Rome as it burned. He was in a villa at Antium. Despite being one of the most well-known Roman emperors, most of Nero's rule is shrouded in mystery and hearsay. So much of his reign has been tampered with by perspectives of others, to the point that it's hard to tell what is true or not. Historians dramatize his reign, all for the sake of slander. For all we know, this sadistic ruler could have been a saint. Probably not, because he did not like Christians. There are most cited Roman historians, Tacitus, Suetonius, and Cassius Dio, that have documented Nero were also harsh critics of him. Furthermore, all three of them wrote about him 20 years or more after his death. All this to say, I'm neither implying that Nero was good or bad. Roman rulers never tend to be good. Rather, I'm suggesting that everything that will be said today should be taken with a barrel full of salt. As the saying goes, history is written by those with a pen. Agrippina. This woman lived by the ends justify the means, before Niccolo Machiavelli even wrote it. I don't want to focus on her too much, as falling down her rabbit hole of history will take all day, but she is the brains behind Nero's rule. She is what made Lucius Domitius into the Emperor Nero. To summarize, Nero is the great-grandson of Augustus. His mother is our girl Agrippina. She had a husband, but he died. That is Nero's birth dad. She then remarried to Emperor Claudius. This was not enough power for Agrippina. She needed to solidify her rule. Having a son as an emperor will do just that. Allegedly, she kills her husband with mushrooms. Who's next in line for the throne? Who is only 16? Who does not care about even ruling to begin with? None other than Nero. Back to Nero. Who is Nero? Apart from his lineage, Nero loves things like art and music. Funnily, artists and musicians were as valued as prostitutes in Rome. He had no interest in becoming emperor. Power wasn't what he wanted, it was what his mother wanted. Instead, the young boy would do all things Dionysus would condone. He hung around brothels and partook in theater. He may have not identified with the lower class, but he sure did win them over. He increased funding in the arts and gave privileges to the lower class. He promoted the economy by reducing taxes on the businesses. Overall, his loyalties were in favor of the poor. Though you can't please everyone, the upper echelon found Nero to be a nuisance. I mean, how dare somebody improve the well-being of their citizens? To be fair, I'd hate to hang around that artsy theater kid too. You know when you sit at a lunch table and you know just everyone hates you? Or when your coworkers are sitting around the break table and suddenly they get quiet when you walk in? You guys relate, right? Right? Anyways, that's how Nero felt. So he started a new lunch table with his closest friends, making sure not to include his lame mom who casually chants political ideas over his bed as he sleeps, breathing down his neck to hopefully get a sliver of his power. Okay, now further pushing the lunch table analogy. You know when you and your friends hang around each other too much and make jokes that probably shouldn't be said? Group chat texts that will get you straight on the FBI's watch list if they get leaked? Yeah, now imagine you are the emperor, so your plans actually make it out the group chat. Anyway, one of those plans was killing his mom. He tried to drown her, that failed, so he just ordered his mates to stab her. And why not kill one woman when you can double it? So he kills his wife. Oh, forgot to mention, he has a wife. A lot of people didn't like the whole wife killing thing, so he killed them too, after they tried to start a coup. A bit after the whole assassination attempt, Rome's infamous fire started. 2/3 of the city was burned. Nero was, as stated before, in a villa away from Rome when it started. Upon getting the word of the fire, he returned to help. He opens his door to anyone who was affected. Sounds out of character, right? Let's get back in character. This dude decided that since his palace was burned, he should build a new one. Reasonable, right? Which happens to have a 120-foot statue of him. It's hard not to blame the Romans for thinking that Nero intended there to be a fire for him to build a new palace. Alright, Nero realizes that his silly statue might make people think he was in on it. But how can he place the blame on somebody else other than him? What about the Christians? I don't have enough sanity or the time to explain what he did to those Christians, so I'll just give you an audio snippet. Y'all, new wife just dropped. Poppaea was actually able to get pregnant, unlike his previous wife. Nero didn't like this. He beat his old wife to death for not becoming pregnant, and his second wife for being too pregnant. Guys, as much as you're dying to hear about the kid he casts, because he looked like Poppaea, this is a school project, so I need to gloss over his atrocities, so just imagine. Okay, cool. Now, Nero has no friends, no wives, no family, and oh my god, what happened to the people who hated him? He woke up one morning to see everybody who hated him was not in the castle. Why weren't they in the castle? Because they teamed up with Spain to kill him. Nero had nobody. Nero, more like Nemo. That was terrible. You know what you do when you have nobody and then get the word that, like, a whole army is coming for you? Where Nero did. He finished the job for him.